Today will mark the initial release of the science fiction short story Cohesion Lost, otherwise known as...
Are we living in a simulation?
Well,
dun, dun, dun,
dun, dun, dun. Yes, I'm John Newton, author, science fiction author, and author of this short story. And this is
Eric. I run your brother in Christ apologetics channel.
Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this question in relation to the story. Thank you for making these previous books that have come out, these previous short stories, a success. The first one was A Taste of Earth. #1 science fiction in each of its categories. It had reached #1. And the same thing that happened with Death Has No Shadow. That was the second short story that came out. It, ironically, hit #2 in all categories. And so I want to see if we can have this hit #3 in all categories and just have it right up there with the rest. Check out the links in the description of this video. Each one of these short stories is available. Are we living in a simulation? Now, this is one of the primary philosophical questions and theological questions, because there's implications for that as well, that is raised in this short story. And it's not raised by people sitting down and just having a discussion about it. It's raised within the narrative of the story. It's the main character going through this journey and all the experiences that he has. So to ask this question, just philosophically, we're going to dabble into this just a little bit. And I'm thinking about maybe this is going to be a good discussion for a larger live stream later on. But bring it up as a question now. And I'd like to get comments from you guys too, if you can chime in to talk about this. First, I want to put a definition down. Simulation theory. Now, it's not truly a theory. It's just a hypothesis, strictly speaking. But it proposes that what we experience as the world around us is actually a simulated reality, such as a computer simulation in which we ourselves are constructs. Have you heard this kind of thing before?
Oh,
Has
yeah.
it been? Okay, so what are your thoughts concerning it?
I guess the question would be, how would you define simulation, and how would you be able to qualify if we are or not?
If everything that you have around you is just such a perfect simulation that looks like the real world, how would you really know? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you'd have to be looking for any sort of glitches or any sort of unalignment, I guess you would say.
Any glitch in the matrix? Or
any error, anything along those lines. Well, first of all, we're not in a Bethesda game because we're not flying. I don't see horses climbing up sheer cliffs anytime soon.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That would be a part of it. Davos Isgul. Hey, you got your name on there.
Cake is a lie. Yes.
Davos. Sorry, I keep saying Davos. I thought cake. What is the cake? What is that from?
Portal.
Cake's a lie.
If you find out in the end, it's not a lie.
Okay.
It was actually there the entire time.
Okay, so this is a question that's brought up in the game Portal.
Yes.
I don't know if I ever finished that game, so I can't really say whether I know that one or not. Yeah, but these are the kind of questions that would be asked for this. What is if we were in a simulation, how would we know? First of all, it had to be a really, really, really good simulation with basically no bugs in it, unless maybe some things you've come across in your life, like losing those socks in the dryer. Or I am sure the reason why I could not find my keys the other day was because there was a glitch in the matrix. It had nothing to do with me just being forgetful.
Or like the Mandella Effect.
The Mandela. Oh, yeah. Mandela. Is it Mandela? Is it Mandela or Mandela?
I'm probably saying it wrong.
Okay. Is it okay? Explain that one. What is it? What is that about?
It is that some people remember things that aren't really correct. Like
the Flintstones.
The Flintstones. There's another one about the Monopoly guy, if he had a monocle or not. There are a bunch of questions about this, looking back at the past, saying, I remember it a certain way. Wow. Now it's a question of if it was just people thinking that it was that way, or if there was actually something going on.
Okay. And Davo said, in my first question would be, if I'm in a simulation, why do I have private thoughts? My question to you, brother, is, are they truly private thoughts? coordinates?
That is a good question, because that could be in some serious trouble.
So this would not be a bad one to review. What was that one where the guy was in a simulation and he works? The whole thing they wrapped. Oh gosh, who's the actor?
You're really giving me nothing.
I am not giving you anything. Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey.
You're talking about
Now you're stuck on it.
No,
Okay.
I don't remember.
If I come out with it right away, you would have remembered. Okay.
Yes.
So Jim Carrey had, thank you very much, The Truman Show. He was in The Truman Show. That's what it was. It may not be a bad one to review.
That's a fun one.
In relation to this.
Serves.
Well, it was a thought-provoking one, because some of that, with some of the simulation, some of the things that he was going through, like they would have, they would be selling product during his life. Like his wife would all of a sudden talk about something and say, "Made by Ronco," and go through the whole spiel, right?
And be like,
really out of
ad.
place. Really out of place. And I'm not saying there is anything like that in this story. There is. And there is a part 2 to the Cohesion Lost that is coming out too later on. So this is going to, now all the short stories I have are not really interconnected. They're part of the series, but they're more like in part of a group. So you can read all these out of order. You don't have to read one or the other.
I got some of the effects. We can go through.
Okay, is that what you're looking at?
Glitches in the Matrix.
See if you guys, before we put that up, I got another comment here that I want to put up. I can't even watch the game Portal. I get motion sickness. I like the concept of the game though. Yeah, it's pretty cool, but my wife has that with any of some of the games where my kids play. Like they'll play Minecraft and she can't watch it. She'll get motion sickness just watching the kids are like going through it all. But the advantage of Minecraft that you could say with my kids is they understand Cartesian coordinates really well.
I could see
X, Y, Z, right?
Yeah.
When they got to that in school, it's like we didn't have to teach them. They just flew right by that.
So video games as a form of teaching would be interesting. Okay. So let's go through some of these, shall we?
Yes.
Let's test you. What do you remember?
Oh my god.
This would have been good for a live stream. Like,
well,
does he fall?
I would say give me a couple, but then we'll hold off on the rest to the other full-blown live stream, and we'll put this up to see if the viewers can catch these as well.
So test it.
Okay.
And we'll look at the live chat as we go. So we're looking at a peanut butter brand.
All right, you guys are part of the simulation here.
So is it Jif or Jiffy on the side, on the label of a peanut butter, of the peanut butter brand? Is it Jiffy peanut butter or is it Jif peanut butter? J-I-F.
I don't know if I should say anything.
J-I-F-F-Y.
Do you want me to answer these guys?
Well,
okay, I want to put
one saying Jeff.
Jeff.
No, it's not Jeff. That's not even an option. I'm giving you the A, B option.
Jeff made it though. It was made by Jeff.
What is your opinion?
My opinion? Jif.
Jif. J-I-F.
2 Fs.
2 Fs.
Yes.
Wrong.
What?
It's J-I-F. 1 F.
1 F?
It's 1 F. Now, your option wasn't even one of the options that they had on the website. There you go. He's got it right.
Yeah. What? You know what? Maybe it threw me because it was Jeff, and I was thinking it was Jeff. It's just, no, you're right. It is. Now that I think, I have to kind of picture it in my mind. Don't ask me what colors on it because I wouldn't. Blue, red, I think are the colors.
Okay. Now you're going to have to dive back in your memory because this is an image.
Okay.
Is it Looney Tunes spelled T-O-O-N-S or is it Looney Tunes spelled T-U-N-E-S? I'd love it if we could have actually like the image.
We will when we do this. When we do this live stream, we will do this,
and we'll have it so that one of us does.
I would say T-U-N-E-S.
T-U-N-E-S.
Yes.
T-U-N-E. That is correct.
Okay. Sure.
The tunes is other people think that's what it is.
Okay.
T-O-O.
Well, it's supposed to be like, I think what it is it is a play on words because they're cartoons, right?
Yeah.
But it's also music. So what were they really going for? Were they going for the original cartoons, or were they going for the tunes as the music?
That's a good question.
I
I
don't know.
don't know.
That's a good question. Now, my grandfather, who was a Newton, worked at Warner Brothers Studios, not as a cartoonist, but as in the technical department. I think he was helping out with sound or something like that. So he might have been working on the tunes. But they actually had him. There was a famous restaurant that was there for the guys that hung out at Warner Brothers. And somebody came in and did caricatures of the people that were there. And he has his caricature on the wall as like a thank you for the work that he had done. So that was pretty cool.
Curious George.
Oh, wait, this is the last one. I only said 2. Okay, it's the last one.
No, let's do a couple.
No. Only 3.
Okay, fine.
Because we got to save some for later.
Fine.
All right, so what we got? We've got another one here.
Okay, so yes, Curious George. Does Curious George have a tail? Or does Curious George not have a tail?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch Curious George much. Well, it was okay. So it came out later as an animation, but it was originally just as an illustration.
Yes.
It'd be hard to fit in pants. He wore pants, I think. He wore pants, didn't
funny.
he?
Yeah. Funny, a live stream.
All right. I want to see what the okay. Davos is bragging. He's got a 2 for 2 in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see some other people chime in besides him.
He says no tail.
No tail.
Okay.
He says a no tail. We got a no tail. All right. I'm going to be the oddball. I'm going to totally get this wrong. I'm going to say tail, and we'll go from there.
He has a tail. No, he does not have a tail.
He does not have a tail?
He's not a monkey. He's an ape.
Oh.
He's a little baby
chimpanzee.
A chimpanzee.
Oh, golly, guys, come on. You know better that apes don't have tails. All right, so that's good. We'll do some more on this later.
Oh man, there's so many good ones.
There probably are. I know the Flintstones are on there. I know
on
there's some others that I've seen before. But it does make you wonder. You look at that and say,
we should have the pictures like up in the middle here.
Yeah. Yep. People get to select. We'll keep score. Better score. And know that I'm totally failing on all these, and I've been Mandela because I'm from an alternate universe. That's what it is. So, all right. That's what Cohesion Lost is about, pretty much. And then, so we talked about what simulation theory is. Let's get a little bit of history on it. It's an old thought. It's not really anything new. It's been around for a long time. In fact, you can look as far back as the Greek philosophers. Plato had this sort of idea with his allegory of a cave. I don't know if you ever hear his allegory of a cave.
No. You
hear about this one? Okay. So it was a thought experiment. You have people sitting in this cave, and they don't get to see the outside world, if I remember this correctly. All they get to see are shadows of it on the wall that they can only face into the cave further. They can't face out. So they can only see the back wall of the cave, and they see shadows, and they try to make guesses on what's going on in the real world. And they believe what they are in is actually the real world. This is it. This is all that you see. And not realizing that there's much more. There's almost like a 2D effect of something that's 3D. So you had that's going on. You also had, there's a concept of the butterfly dream by ancient Chinese. They had a story about that, and something similar within the Aztec culture and Indian cultures. Now, this is East Indian, not American Indian. The French philosopher René Descartes formalized his own epistemic doubts. I got to make sure I say that right, because there's another word that's very similar to it. Epistemic doubts coined the phrase, I think, therefore I am. There's a whole process he went through. If we do a full-blown live stream on this, we'll dig deeper into what his arguments were. And that was really cool. And do you know what René Descartes also came up with?
What did René Descartes
We talked about it. He had an influence on Minecraft.
Interesting.
We were just talking about it. Cartesian, his coordinates are based on his name, René Descartes. Cartesian. Bada-ching. Okay. So this is not a new thing. This idea, not simulation theory, simulation hypothesis, because it's just a question. There's nothing really proven about it. But then it's become more popular by recent advances in computer simulation, because we're able to make simulations better and better. I remember the days of Pong, when you were nothing but a paddle to be moved up and down. But today we see a lot more. You plug in and you feel like you're almost there type of thing. Of course, you don't have the full sensory perception. But hey, tactile stimuli, olfactory, everything like that, just a matter of time, maybe getting plugged in somehow. That may be just a matter of time. The question is, should we do it? Imagine how addicting that would be if we're like, we have people that are addicted to video games now, what that would be like. So then all this computer simulation then makes it seem like it's possible that we are in a very high-tech simulation ourselves. And this has also served as a central plot point in movies like The Matrix and maybe even some other sci-fi that I'm not going to say any spoilers yet, that may be introduced very recently. This idea of this brain in a vat sort of thing. And then we have this, what was that movie? The prequel to Dune, the Butlerian Jihad, the Machine Crusade,
the Battle of Corn.
Battle of Corn, that trilogy that was written by Kevin J. Anderson and Brian Herbert. The original Kevin Herbert. What was Herbert's? Oh, the original author's son. He those two came out with it, and they did have some of that was these brain in the vat type of deal, but it wasn't so much simulations because they just wanted longevity, and then they plugged those brains into
Big Fighting
Mech called Timex. So that was part of it too. But this is a part of that philosophy. So I'm going to look at the chat right here, and then we'll pick up the discussion here as well. Let's see. No tail. And then we've got, he was the beginning of the Planet of the Apes. So this is going back to Curious George. That's right. He was learning from us, and his idea was to take over the world. The world of Maya in Hinduism. Yes, that was the Indian concept that was there. So these are very old.
Okay.
Yeah. Then SQL Cartesian join. SQL. See, I know SQL. I can dabble in that a bit. The Matrix. Yes. Davis, you hit the nail on the head. And Brian Herbert. Thank you. It was in the back of my mind thinking about that. So we're going to Mandela Effect everybody here. It wasn't Brian. It was Ryan Herbert. You're all wrong. So are we in a simulation? That is this question. Now I'm going to put that as a question for you guys here, since we've got a bit of a lively chat. Are we in a simulation? Is everything here, all that we see, all that we taste, touch, and smell, is this a simulation? And does he have a tail? Those are the two questions I want to pose. And you don't know. You never see him stand up. So
no,
he may not even have legs.
Unless they came in person to the conference we had. No,
then you would see his tail.
Or possibly not. Who knows?
I would say that my vote is, since I've been 100%, almost 100% wrong on this, is to say that he does have a tail. So the question of whether we are in a simulation or not, that's one thing that's one of the main things that's brought up in the story. Okay, we got one here from Jack Ray. Simulation, it depends on how one looks at it. Man, I want this to almost be a
again, you would have a hard time proving that it isn't.
Yeah, that's right.
Considering there are things that you would even classify as possible errors in the code.
What would you classify as an error in the code?
We already went through it, the Mandela Effect.
Okay, well, that's more psychological. So that you say that you remember it differently. I can't.
What else would be other than things that you remember as being different than what they actually recorded are? So the question is, did something happen?
Something that breaks the laws of physics.
Something that breaks the laws of physics.
Like maybe a miracle.
Miracle, you got ghosts. You've got all the supernatural side of it.
That's right. Would that be considered a glitch in the Matrix? Okay, Davos says even then he was hiding his tail.
Dun dun dun.
Yes. You're talking about this guy and his tail at the conference. I believe you are 100% correct. I say that he has a tail. We had 2 votes for tail.
And Davis wasn't wrong. so far.
And he says, I don't think we're in a simulation. Okay, I think we're going to leave the answer for this when we do the full-blown live stream on this later on, because I think this is we'll introduce some other concepts and some other theories that go along with this that will, I think, liven it up some and bring some other philosophical thoughts with it. I don't think we're in a simulation. We're seeing that VR is doing things. We are seeing the VR is doing to the brains. He has a
my gosh,
well, shotgunning it all. Yes, I think it's unanimous. You have a tail. Now, I'm not going to ask him to prove it. For one thing, I don't think we'll have the ratings. We'll be banned on YouTube, number one. Number two, his wife would not want him to prove to everybody that he does or does not have a tail. Number three, he's simulated anyway, so it doesn't make a difference either way. So this is one of the questions that is brought up in this story, more or less. Now, this is I asked this question a while back. Okay, I want to put this up here before we go on. He says, I joined too late, whatever the tail was referenced to. Okay. We have people coming in and out.
We're talking about Curious George.
We were talking about Curious George. We were talking about the Mandella Effect, whether how people would think certain things are actually not what they are, like Jif. How do you actually spell it, or how do you pronounce the peanut butter and other things like that? And this is all in reference to the short story that I'm launching today. Brand new is this guy right here, Cohesion Lost, available on all channels. Apple, Amazon, yada, yada, all the above. And by the way, if you guys do download this, and thank you for doing this in the past, please do leave a review. Thank you. If you could write a review, that'd be great, but at least, a star rating and stuff like that. And I would say, just like we had with the movie last week, when we were looking at the Firing Squad, be honest. I want, honest reviews. If it stinks, say it. As much as I would love 5-star reviews, and I got some really high reviews before, so I think this is a really good story. I don't think you will think it stinks. But if you do, so be it. We have to, as Christians, be very honest with our reviews on things. And that was the only poll that I had ever done where we showed that if we should be honest with our reviews, and I actually still have it up, so I'm going to put it up and get rid of the comments here. Okay, so this was asking, this is a poll a couple of weeks ago, asking, should Christians always give Christian movies and literature a 5-star review, i.e. the highest, even if it's not good? And I would even add to that, should it be even compensating a little bit? I'm going to bump it up a couple of marks because it's Christian. No, we should vote on its merits. And 100% of the respondents, and we've had more people respond since I took this image, have said, no, do not do that. I was surprised. Never had unanimous response like this before. Everybody said, be honest. So if you do a review on the story, please do that. So we're all doing these questions about the Matrix and everything like that because it's mentioned in the story. So another thing that is happening in the story is that it is not explicitly a Christian story. This is something that was asked in another poll that we put out. What makes a story, a movie, whatever, a Christian story? And although Alex, the main character in here, is Christian, there's not a whole lot of thoughts that are in there that are pulling him that direction. There's some prayer that's in there. There's a couple other things just real quick in passing. But that's about it. It's just him going through this. It's a clean story. It has some good questions. It's not, gratuitous in every way, in any way. So in that way, it's clean. But would you really consider that Christian? And I would say, would you consider Lord of the Rings a Christian story too, then, in that regard? But be prepared. If you're thinking this is a full-blown, we're giving you the Romans Road and everything story on here, that is not the case. So when you get down to it, the book Cohesion Lost asks this question about reality and our existence. Although it doesn't conclude that we are in a simulation that God created, it does ask a question that hopefully will lead to that conclusion. The beauty of speculative fiction is this. It meets these questions head on and unabashedly and gives us a chance to see beyond the veil and the truth behind it. And that's what the advantages, I think, of addressing some of the stuff in fiction or in myth, that we can ask some of these deeper questions that take us another look at reality to say that, hey, maybe God is behind all this and we can behind there. So coming up, we have, it's a really quick live stream. Coming up in November, I have another, in October, I have another short story, Child of the Stone. And then November, the novel. Finally, going to get a novel. And there will be an audiobook version of that. Hopefully, I'll have that ready and prepared by the time of the release of the book, because we all love audio. I love audio. I sit there and I can digest it a lot easier if it is audio. That's coming out in November. And then this is the first of a series of books. And this really will be a series where there's one after another that's going to be required. And I'm going to be revealing what the main theme of that is, some of the questions that it could be coming up. We'll have a cover reveal and everything like that with it too in next 6 weeks or so. And then we have coming up here on this channel as well, we have Cabrini. We're going to do a review on the movie Cabrini, which is put out by Angel Studios. I'm not going to let you know I have seen it. I'm not going to let you know what my thoughts are on it yet. You haven't seen it, but we're going to bring it to you.
See it later.
We're going to give you an honest review, just like we did the Firing Squad. I gave it a 3. We're going to give Cabrini an honest review, say what that is. And if it's something that's like, hey, should we support this as well? And then beyond that, we're looking at asking the question, could Islam, being true to Islam in its textual sources, into the Quran and the Hadiths, could we have an Islamic space agency? Would something like that be a possibility? And we're going to be looking at that on Thursday. And I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be more of an open discussion to ask these questions. They're going to be hard questions. Say, hey, what would really be allowed in Islam for this? And why are we doing on a channel talking about science fiction? Oh, because it might be science fiction. Maybe it'd be good enough to look at. So if you haven't had a chance to look at it, here's all the short stories that are out there now. And I'm going to take a quick look at.
Now, real quick,
yes,
guys, in the comments down below, let us know if you'd be interested in a live stream where we do a full test on like 50 Mandela effects. And do we live in a simulation?
I would want to do that. I would want to see what their responses are.
Oh, yeah. I think we should do.
I think we should
do like 50 of them, have like a minute for the audience to respond. I will know the truth, and I'll be testing you on your memory as well as the audience on theirs. And if you guys would like to see that, go ahead and let us know in the live chat or in the comments.
Okay, we got one right there. Vote already. He says Mandela Effects. Yes.
Okay.
So I think
so. Maybe we should do that the following Tuesday, or maybe you should even do a special live stream because we're going to be talking about the book at the same time because that's the same topic.
Yes. Yeah, I think, and then we got another one. Okay, you're getting all the answers right here, but it would help if you put them in the comments. The more comments we have, the better. I mean, talking after it goes out, right?
Even live chat really helps out.
The live chat, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
keeping the live chat active really pushes it.
We have I think everybody is saying yes. I want to. I think sort of like an IQ test, right?
I think it would be huge if we did a Mandela Effect test.
Yeah.
Live stream. And you guys participate.
We'll keep a record. See who has the highest score. No cheating ahead of time. You can't look. Okay,
you can't look at it. I've got to do the research for it.
Yeah, but I'm saying you guys online. If you have actually read these before and you know what they are, you can't really.
Well, they don't know which ones I'm going to pick.
Well, I think they're pretty much obvious, right? Maybe just not different.
There's a lot of them. There's some of them that I was looking through that I haven't even heard of before. So
okay, and he's saying, yeah, okay. So I guess the biggest thing is to be honest with this, and we'll just have fun.
Just have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we go on those, like, can he get all 50 correct? And we'll find out.
Yeah. All right. We'll have to put that
We'll
up.
do that with the audience.
Because we have a pretty packed schedule coming up. There's a lot of things that we're going to be touching
this
on.
might be enough for a special live stream. Who knows?
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you for your response. It's been fun. And if you do like science fiction short stories, see about picking this up. Right now, Death Has No Shadow is free. You can pick it up for free. It's an ebook. Put it on your Kindle or whatever. And if you know someone who does like science fiction, and if you don't, maybe suggest it for them. This is a good method of evangelism too, because you start asking these questions to people and say, what's really behind all this stuff. So lots of fun. And again, thank you for your time, and hopefully we'll see you Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.